Clearly, Russell Brand denies all the allegations against him, but are you convinced in your mind that there's some sort of case to answer here?
So, Peter, that's just obviously there are 700 words in that particular section of my column. So my comments had to be limited to the instance of which I chose, which was the taxi being dispatched to a school to collect a young girl to take him back to his flat. But, you know, it's been wall to wall Russell Brand for the last few days. He's been known as a predator in the industry for a very long time. So it's, what we heard on the disclosures over the weekend on the Channel 4 programme, I mean, some of it is pretty chilling. And I'm
sure he would deny that he's a predator. He certainly said that he's promiscuous.
Yeah, others have said that he's a predator. I think we're all aware of what other people, it's a very litigious kind of business, and we're all aware what other people are saying. But there are other issues that I, have with his behaviour, which I find utterly reprehensible. And one of the other, I would say second on my list, is how when members of crew complained about his behaviour, particularly young women, and you and I both work with TV crews which have young runners in our own studios, and when they felt unsafe working with him and they complained, they were moved. He was given an all-male crew to work with. They lost their pay. They lost the prestige of working on that show on their CV. They lost their employment. And that's number 2 on my list. You could go down a list of Russell Brand's behaviour, but this isn't. It's not just Russell Brand, and I think one of the reasons why it's wall-to-wall Russell Brand at the moment is because I think we're reaching a tipping point. We've had a number of instances like this. There's been the furore over Philip Schofield. There was Hugh Edwards. We just want to keep listing and going back. Broadcasters and those who make people powerful and make people famous, I think, have much to answer for. And I think we're getting to a point with Russell Brand because it's an interesting point that on Friday afternoon, when I first found out this was going to be a story on Sunday, that the people I was speaking to were saying to me, but is it him? Because it could be one of 10.
Yeah.
Russell Brand isn't the only person. He's the only person that legally they've been, because of the way libel laws work in this country, he's the only person who legally has been able to be named because he stepped into a different arena and via his YouTube channel started talking about politics and put himself in the position of the disclosures being in the public interest. If he was still working as a comedian, if he was still working in entertainment, it's probably the case that we wouldn't even know about Russell Brand now.
Do you not think that would have happened anyway? A very high profile person that these allegations being made against, which of course he completely denies. I wonder as well what you would have done had you still been Culture Secretary, had these things come to light, Nadine.
Well, as other comedians and people in the industry are saying, it's who've known about him for a very long time. I mean, if you look at the descriptions some of those people have of Russell Brand, Bob Geldof, famously called him a 4-letter word at the MNT Awards. If you look at just the opinion of people who work with him, who won't work with him, who have all known for a very long time, I'm not sure the disclosure would have happened because he's a very wealthy man who uses very powerful lawyers, which, scares people stiff in the industry who don't want to be the ones who lose their mortgage or lose their homes for outing people like Russell Brand. But there are many more. And we have this situation where we make people, into these demigods. We make them famous. We make them powerful. We give them a messiah complex. We let them believe that they are omnipotent. They can do whatever they like and treat people however they like. And I think we've got to get to a point now where we question, what do broadcasters do in terms of preventing that behaviour in the future?